Now this one, um, you know, I thought it might have something fantastic to it, but actually, so as far as these sort of movies go, yeah, the Carpenter's Miracle wasn't actually as bad as it could be, as it happens. I mean, the personality himself wasn't as bad. He was skeptical throughout himself. So I thought a Hallmark movie would could be worse than this. The romantic aspect weren't too played up either, so that's great. The others that I've watched were way worse, despite the absolutely shallow romances. It did begin dramatically, but then that's the premise. So it's still a mediocre movie, but it's not sort of below average, as far as these sort of movies go. Also, at the very least, it doesn't have that damn word in the title. Nor is it really sad at all. I don't remember it being sad, which is quite a relief, as it just come from a movie that says it like a bazillion times. Yay! As if somehow every time they say it, they get some sort of anyway. Yeah. So yeah, as I say, it's a surprise. Honestly, I think it's the first Hallmark movie that isn't as stereotypical. I mean, most tend to be really cliched rom-coms that I've seen so far. This wasn't though. So you know, yeah. Um, it was sort of interesting, how everyone reacted to it. The ending though was bad, I suppose. The fact that he didn't want everyone to know that the dog came back to life is reasonable, but the fact that the dog was hit in the last 3 minutes, that's not a. I mean, it begins stressful and ends similarly. That's not so that it's not a sort of movie that yeah. I suppose they're trying to make a point. That's the problem. When movies make points, they usually don't really do so well. Otherwise, the mid parts weren't too uninteresting. It sort of showed sociologically what would happen in reality if indeed this happens. Uh, and overall, it could be worse. I mean, if it was produced by some overtly religious corporation or whatever, yeah, I'm pretty sure it could be worse. There were sort of both sides of the thing, um, with doctors saying what could have happened and such. Um, so yeah, what's going with surprise, I guess, when it comes to. As I said, I thought it might be some. Even the poster seemed almost like it was hinting at magical realism and such, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was fairly realistic as far as realism goes, and yet somehow it's rated on average by um worse. Worse than even utterly idiotic Pambelinana. Yeah, as usual, the world is upside down, and that includes ratings, of course. This is the problem, though. As I say, I mean, if you end the movie with a dog being hit, people, I guess, will rate it lowly. Now, I'm not saying it's rated too lowly. I mean, in terms of my own personal ratings, it's almost spot on. But in comparison to other, in this case, comparing like with like here, nearly comparison with other Hallmark movies, this is actually one of the better ones. Apart from the only other one that I've watched recently, that was Um, that was almost on par. Still different, slightly different, but yeah. Just in time the thing, but yeah, cliche title, and the whole thing was slightly more cliched as well. Of course, it's one of which rated higher by people. That's a given. People love cliches. Ah, that's the thing. Or maybe that's it. Maybe this, maybe people rating this were like the chairman's wife. They thought it made religion look bad just because they presented the scientific side. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's one of my favorite movies. I'm not saying that, but it's not a masterpiece. But as far as Hallmark movies go, uh, yeah, it's surprised it's even Hallmark. I mean, you know, it did have a few too many hospital scenes. Apparently, some actors even acted in House, so guess they're used to it. But yeah, as far as Hallmark movies go, apparently it's based on a novel, but that doesn't mean anything. It was interesting, I suppose one could say. Unconventional. They did do a bit too few coincidences, though. The guy said, "So he's JC, and Luke is biblical." Except, I didn't continue on to say that. Well, Josh isn't quite biblical, is it? I don't think Josh is quite a name in the Bible. But anyway, yeah. Other than that, though, it's okay. Okay, I think.